Whitney.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you.
Alex, so did you stick around here? Did you go to California? What'd you do all
Yeah, I was here for a little bit and then did spend some time back in California. A little bit of traveling, kind of see some family. So.
You said when you came in last year, you were just kind of learning the Reed system at this point.
Uh-huh.
How much different is it now? I mean, are you kind of on the like next level stuff? I mean, how much further?
Yeah, I mean, that for sure that's the goal. It's definitely very different though. I mean, we have a whole season of film to watch. I mean, last year at this time, you're watching a lot of Eagles stuff. Like I said, we're all learning it together, getting to know each other at the same time, and personalities and things like that. So at this point, yeah, I mean, to have the entire database of film, the coaches have obviously already kind of hashed through all that and have it organized. So to be able to come in and to march through concepts and really kind of get into the finer details of some of those things and where do we need to improve as a team and as groups and as individuals, things to focus on. All that stuff's invaluable for sure.
I guess what I'm asking, how close do you think you are to having the full book thrown at you, the full playbook thrown at you?
Yeah, well, I think we got it. Better question for Coach Reed and Doug, but yeah, I mean, I think even as the season progressed, I mean, I think it was all in. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not so much the volume as a matter of like refining. What do we do well? What sometimes you install things and you look back on the season and you didn't run it that many times, but you spend a bunch of time on it, working it, and so you just try to be more efficient and things like that. So, and then like I said, there's you looking at the team as a whole, you look at the offense as a whole and quarterbacks, and then even yourself as an individual. What do I need to get better at individually, fundamentally? You're trying to work on all those things.
How much conversation have you had with the Chiefs about an extension?
I have had none. My agent representative just handles all that, and that's why you hire that guy to take care of that, so you can focus on football. And it's really not my place. So.
Has he had a conversation?
Yeah, they've been speaking. Yeah.
Were you hoping to have that done by now?
I had no date as far as expectation. I still have a year in my contract, so for me, no, didn't have any expectations, and don't know when it will get done.
Is there any difference for you, other than the long-term financial ramifications, obviously, of playing this year on a long-term deal or playing this year on a one-year deal?
No, I don't think so. I've played long enough, going into year 10 now, so it's all year to year in my mind anyway, I think, at this point. And you got to continually prove yourself. So I don't think it changes anything as far as my mindset or approach to the game at all.
Alex, was there a point at which last season that you felt like everybody got on the same page and you were anticipating exactly what was going on with everybody else?
Well, I think as the season went on, I think as an offense and myself definitely felt more and more comfortable. I think if you look at the back half of the year, I think we did a better job of really attacking the entire field and spreading the ball around to a lot of different guys, utilizing our weapons and our strengths, myself included in that. So no question, I think as the season went on, it got better and better. And like I said, the nice thing now is to take all that film, the good and the bad and all the stuff in between, and sit down and really a detailed evaluation, being honest with ourselves and what are our weaknesses, where do we need to improve, and strengths, things we do well, and how can we do those things differently and better, and that's what this time is for. Yeah.
So does that translate into this year should just pick right up where last year left off, and you're going to score 44 every year?
I mean, you'd love to, yeah. I mean that's what you're striving for, is to pick right up where we did leave off. Strange now with this a little longer break than I can remember. Usually you're starting in March, and even last year we're getting to start on April 1st. To be starting on the 21st of April now, that's a long break, longer than I'm ever used to. So, but yeah, I mean, and it's shortened now. I mean, what do we get, 9-10 weeks to fit all this in the off season? So I think you got to make the most of every single day. But yeah, the goal, to answer your question, is that's what you're trying to do. Yeah, you're trying to really, you put all that work last year. You're trying to build on it for sure.
How do you feel about Big Fish protecting blindside now?
I feel good about it. For me, a lot gets made up of the blind side and the front side, they're both equally dangerous, and Fish was over there on the right side all year, so he'll do a fine job over there on the left. I'm not worried about it at all.
And also, Jeff Allen, Donald Stevenson went to Arizona to work out with Charles Bentley, which is what Swartz did last year.
Mhm.
Jim, just, how do you feel about that? Did you know about that?
I didn't know about that. I mean, like I said, we're starting at April 21st, so it's so much later. So you really have to be kind of self-driven in your off season. You got to be able to take advantage of that time, and you can't sit and do nothing. So everybody kind of goes their own direction, you know, and it has to find what fits for them. Coaches, strength, conditioning, all that stuff included. And you kind of have to be your own coach and put those things together for yourself. So. You know, there's places set up all over the country now, a lot of them in Arizona. So, you know, I think everybody kind of has their deal they go to and what they're comfortable with.
Would you rather have been starting earlier, you personally? And
If I had my say, you know, last year was great. I liked starting beginning of April. I think that's a great time. These last 3 weeks, you're kind of sitting around getting the itch, ready to go.
Alex, what was your reaction first day of free agency? Lost 3 linemen. Were you a little nervous?
No, not nervous. You know, I knew some of that was to be expected. You know, it was tough. Those guys were all good players and coming up on the open market and were highly sought after, and deservedly so. So, you know, I knew we weren't going to be able to keep everybody. It's part of the deal. It's the nature of the game. Like I said, nothing surprises me anymore. I've been around long enough. So, you know, sign some guys in free agency. We got the draft coming up, and these are all pieces to replace those guys. So,
What are some of the challenges with a young offensive line, regardless of skill level?
you know, I think for one, the main thing is just communication. Just all 5 guys working as one. I mean, and myself included as an extension of that. When I know what those guys are doing, and we're all on the same page, and then all 11 guys combined, you're going to operate really well. You know, so when those 5 guys are really working as one group, and it just takes a lot of reps and a lot of practice, and they have to get good at communicating because things happen so fast. You know, things happen on the run. Guy runs through the A gap. Adjustments all of a sudden just have to be made. So that stuff just takes reps, but that's the biggest thing. I think communication, verbal and nonverbal.
You didn't play in that last San Diego game, but a bunch of these guys are counting on to fill those voids. Rashad Johnson, and of course, you know Jenkins, who played a lot. What did you see from the sidelines, or even watching the film the next week? What stood out to you, Kush?
I
A bunch of these guys.
I mean, to put it bluntly, I thought they beat up on a playoff team. I mean, they played well. I mean, good enough to win. Made a lot of plays out there. All the guys that had opportunities, I thought, stepped up, and this was a team that, with the playoffs on the line, I mean, it wasn't like they were, you know, I mean, this meant everything for them, and our guys went out there, and I thought, I mean, we're up for the challenge and really prepared themselves and played really well. So, I mean, that's a team that went on and won a playoff game the next week. So, yeah, I mean, I thought all those guys, I mean, everybody included in that, you know, did a great job.
Alex, you mentioned that you watched a lot of Eagles film last year
Uh-huh.
into this offense. A lot of former Eagles players tell me that it takes a solid 2 years to get this offense. What does that do for your confidence when you hear that moment that you are entering the second year?
I mean, it's tough to put any date on it. Who knows? I mean, I've heard all kinds of dates. You know, it takes 3 years to learn the West Coast. You know, you hear all these phrases thrown out. I mean, bottom line is, I mean, you know, we did a decent enough job last year at times, and we didn't have an off season under our belt. So, for us, the expectations are raised. You know, that we do need to take it another level. You know, we need to take advantage of this time. So, certainly, it's nice to come back and watch your own film, and we've been in the system for a time period. But certainly, for us, the bar has been raised even further. So you're constantly pushing yourself. It's not like you're certainly satisfied with anything. So now the bar is raised even higher, especially offensively for ourselves. You know, having been in the system. So, you know, certainly you're striving to get there.
Did you spend any off-season time working out any of the receivers?
I did not. You know, I spent a lot of time working out. We didn't get together. For me, it's a fine line there. I think, you know, we can get together and do routes, and I think a lot of times that looks good. But without the coaches necessarily there, sometimes I think you're just doing work to do work, and it looks good. And, you know, for me, I think the time away is important. I think it's important to work out, no question, and come in here in shape and make gains in the off season. But we would hate to get together and be practicing stuff that we're going to get here, and then we've been developing habits that we're trying to break. Is kind of my thought on that. These guys are good enough that need a little time off in a way, and they're going to come back and be in shape, and we're going to hit the ground running with Coach Reed and Doug and the rest of the coaches. It's kind of my thought on that.
Couple more guys.
Yeah.
Dwayne said he hired a nutritionist for the first time, personal trainer for the first time.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering if you knew about that, and then, what does that tell you about his desire to get better after last year?
I think you're constantly striving to get better and trying new things. If something wasn't working for you, trying a different avenue. So for him, yeah, nutritionally, if he didn't feel like it was in a good place, and hiring somebody, like I said, I mean, everybody's different, and it tries to find their way of what they like and what fits for them in the off season. So
Alex, you're doing the commencement address?
I am, yeah.
It's a little, are you following the whole college union players unionization? You have to someone who's had the whole experience, academic and athletic.
Yeah.
This guy who's now giving a
Yeah.
commencement address. How you look at that and the NCAA issues that are going on right now?
Yeah, certainly not enough, following that enough to even comment on it. I've watched a little bit, I guess, what I read on online or in the newspapers, but no, not enough to get into that debate. But yeah, I am giving the commencement speech. Just humbled to give it. I'll be, like I said, it's just kind of sitting in the back of my head the entire off season. I got to give this speech, so not something. It'll be a great challenge. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, it's a big honor. Excited about that. So
What were some of the highlights here?
you guys will have to wait and see, like everybody else.
Is there a theme?
A theme?
Present to them?
Yeah, they should work really hard on running fast and throwing the ball far, and they'll have a great future ahead of them.
When is this, Alan?
May 1st.
And how did that come about? Who approached you? And that's pretty.
President's office, yeah, Utah called me up and extended the invitation.
How far down the line on the list of choices?
That's a good question. I didn't find out. It was a long time ago, so this wasn't a last-minute thing. So I don't know. It's a great question. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah, it'll be something different. I don't do a ton of public speaking, especially in front of that many people. So
That's a special place to you. I mean, you've donated money to their weight program.
yeah, oh, absolutely. Utah definitely. I mean, I think all of our alma maters have a special place for all of us, but certainly me. I wasn't highly recruited. Utah gave me an opportunity, and I certainly don't think I'd be where I am today if I didn't make that decision and didn't go there.
So does an honorary doctorate go with it?
I do get an honorary doctorate.
So you're not Dr. Alex Smith?
I'm not quite there, but you guys are going to have to refer to me as doctor here pretty soon.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Smith.
Yeah, thanks.
Commencement speech.